I was born in Germany in 1921.
Beth Ozer grew up with her sister and lived with her mother and father. Her father was an executive at a bank until Hitler's time. Every Friday night, it was their tradition to celebrate Shabbat with friends and a great dinner. Her favorite holiday was Passover, because they used to have competitions on how late they could stay up, and staying up was a real treat. She enjoyed school and always wanted to be a teacher when she grew up. She was also very good at math. Everything changed when Hitler came to power, and her non-Jewish friends at school wanted nothing to do with her. Jewish students and teachers were forced to leave schools. Rabbis encouraged them to come to temple. She was confirmed by the age of 15.
I said it's not just being religious, it's a matter of being part of the community, of being a Jew.
It was 1938 when Kristallnacht happened. It was the night of broken glass and the beginning of the Holocaust. She was 17 years old when this happened, and because she was not able to go to college, she worked at a hospital in Cologne. She helped those who were injured in the event. The following day, her father was taken to Dachau, which was the first concentration camp in Germany. He was put in charge of all the other Jewish men because he was a general in World War I. Fortunately, he was released and was able to take his wife and children. Unfortunately, both of her grandmothers and other family members were killed in concentration camps. They migrated to the United States in 1939. They came to the United States with only 10 marks each, which was $4. Her mother's sister had already moved to the United States a year earlier and took them into their house. The following morning, she was the first to have a job. She did housekeeping for a year, but that didn't leave any time for school. Soon after that, she was given an office position for 5 years and was able to attend the University of Buffalo Evening School. She studied economics, U.S. history, and accounting. Her bosses were Jewish and very kind to her. They gave her tickets to a Jewish lecture by Pierre Van Payson, who wrote Forgotten Ally. A young man that attended this lecture took her home that night. When President Roosevelt died on April 12, 1945, everyone cried. He seemed like a god to her. His fireside chats were so inspiring. She loved going to services at Temple Bethel, but always had to go alone because of her father's tough work schedule, and her sister didn't have the same passion for it as she did. That same young man from the lecture took her home that night. They started to date, and soon were married in 1945. They had 2 children, Francis and Daniel. They moved to Pennsylvania, where her husband started a business school. She taught Sunday school for 10 years and worked for the school district. Her husband became very sick, and so she retired at the age of 65 and traveled with him for the remainder of his life. She wanted to go back to school and get a degree, but instead, she decided to spend her time doing community service work, like radio reading to the blind, tutoring and reading at elementary schools, library and congregation volunteering, and much more.
Try to be independent, make your own way. Don't depend on anybody else to take care of you, and try to be a good Jew. I really don't think of fighting it. Let's just each do our own thing, be good Jews, and hope for the best.